Hi all. Okay, so next we'll do the long answer. Blockchain is a technique with code, kind of like linked list. This would be an example of a blockchain piece of code. I'm not saying this is the perfect way to do it. This is just one example that I found online. If you just do a search on these, there's websites out there that have the code for the blockchain. So you can see this one, there's no contract here. This looks like Java code. So here's the constructor. There's the previous block. Here's a paragraph from that wiki. Blockchain-based smart contracts are contracts that can be partially or fully executed to enforce without human interaction. One of the main objectives of a smart contract is automated escrow. Okay, so what's that mean, right? Well, like when we wrote this contract here, it just sets a variable, right? There's no code in here that would enforce some type of action to happen. What they're saying here, this escrow stuff, escrow is like, let's say you buy an expensive item on eBay, a couple $1,000s, right? You don't want to send that person a PayPal payment of $5,000, right? If he turns out to be a crook, he won't send the item, right? Instead of sending that person that you bought the item from your PayPal payment, you would send your PayPal payment to an escrow service. Okay, you have to sign up for that. That escrow service would hold your payment. Okay, the person you bought the item from ships you the item. Okay, once you get the item, you're happy with what the product is, you contact the escrow service and tell them send the payment on to the seller. So that's the idea behind an escrow. It's just like a third party that holds the cash until you get the product. So what they're saying here, the smart contract would do that type of thing inside the code. Okay, when we get into the Solidity programming videos, we'll get into that type of thing, but that's the idea behind contracts and smart contracts. This is a contract, but there's really no smart contract to it. It's just a contract. This piece of code up here is from this website. Blockchain in 200 lines of code. So it looks like Java code. I started to pick through this a little bit. It looks pretty cool. They walk you right through it piece by piece. Okay. This fella here, Ivan, he's on YouTube. He's got a lot of good videos on blockchain and that topic in general. And he's got one here that shows how to build a blockchain in Java. And it's just the basics, but it explains how it's used. There's this other website here. This is just a website that shows the code. You can see this is from MIT. And you can click through here and check out the code. Okay, so number 2, the main idea behind this blockchain stuff is that the applications are decentralized. Another name for the decentralized applications are dApps. They also call them dApp. I've got a couple graphics here, 4 and 5. So I put this together. I thought it would help you understand how this stuff all fits together. Okay, so just to run through this real quick, blockchain, you can kind of think of it as like the underlying system, the underlying code to the whole mechanism. Okay, and then they build applications on top of the blockchain. Okay, one application is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the application that's really popular. You hear about it all over the place. Bitcoin would be considered a cryptocurrency. It's just like a digital money online. Okay, people that own a lot of Bitcoin are called whales. There's all types of new fancy words that go along with all this Bitcoin stuff. If you pick up a Bitcoin book, check out the glossary. There's all types of new terms. Ethereum would be the other popular cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two big ones. And then Ripple is another popular one. Litecoin is popular. Dash, I've heard that one a lot. And these are all the cryptocurrencies. A fancy word for any cryptocurrency other than Bitcoin is called an altcoin. Okay, and last I knew there was like 1,000 of them. I mean, you could actually write your own code and create your own coin if you wanted to. Okay, so to get back to this Ethereum stuff, there's Ethereum. I heard it broke into 2 projects. There's Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. And it's also a cryptocurrency. But what's cool about this Ethereum is it has this Solidity programming language that we can write contracts with. Ethereum runs on the EVM, the Ethereum Virtual Machine, just like Java had a virtual machine. Not in the sense of like VMware, it's a different type of thing. It's kind of the same, but it's different. It's the Ethereum Virtual Machine. And then over here we have Hyperledger. That's an IBM project, but it's actually open source. It's mainly for business. And Composer and Fabric are the two main products, but there's like, I think there's like 8 or 10 projects. I bumped into a program called Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, and I think that would be like an Ethereum for business. See, these systems here, these Bitcoin, Ethereum, these guys here, these are public out on the web. And then this Hyper Ledger and this Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, these are for business and their customers only. And then you can do programming in Microsoft Visual Studio using C#. And I could have put Oracle down here. I'll do that right now. Okay, and then down here at the bottom we got Oracle, and I think they have a product that's used out in the cloud. But you know, Oracle owns Java and a lot of other things. And then let's see here. Okay, so before we go over 5, let's read through this. D-apps are built with blockchain techniques, right? They're decentralized applications. The main idea behind this decentralized application is this open ledger. Think of a ledger as like an Excel spreadsheet. It's open, meaning it's out on the web. Everyone can use it. And peer-to-peer just means my computer to your computer to your buddy's computer down the road. It's peer-to-peer. We don't have to go to a web server and then to your buddy. It just goes from my computer to your computer. That's what they mean by peer-to-peer. That's the way that one sharing service was years ago. I don't remember the name, but it was the same type of deal. So decentralized apps, the info is stored in the blockchain. That's the way it's usually explained. So it's on the user's PC. The data is actually on your computer's hard drive and loaded onto all the computers in the decentralized network. We'll get into more of this as we go through this file to explain this. When you first join one of those apps, it's loaded onto your computer. It loads the application and it loads the database files. Or should I say it loads the blockchain data onto your computer. So when you first join, it takes half hour or less to download all the blockchain data. In general, that's what they say, but I've seen articles now it could take a lot longer. So, with this decentralized application, there's no central web server. Like, we don't have to go to the Acme company web server to download the files. They're stored on the blockchain. Okay? So let's look at this number 5 file and see if that helps it make sense. Okay, so usually when you look at these things, they describe it in 3 terms. Centralized applications, distributed applications, and decentralized applications. Okay, so I did a search for distributed versus decentralized, and you usually get graphics like this guy down here. Okay, so I'll click view image, and you can see this one, it says centralized. This one is distributed, and this one is decentralized. Okay, so to help this make more sense, I came up with my own graphic here. So what we're used to is like a centralized application. Pick any company name here. We sit at home, go out on the internet, and go to this company's website to look at their information. It's central. It's centralized. All of their data is here. Okay? So that's the normal way of the web. After a while, the web, the internet got too big for this one computer to handle all of the users out on the internet. So it became distributed.